Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Do you guys remember my two videos? All versions of Naruto versus all versions of Ichigo, where I matched up all versions of Naruto and Ichigo, and also my Dear Clyde video, I asked Clyde which version of Ichigo is the weakest to the most powerfulest. Now, with my first video, all versions of Naruto versus all versions of Ichigo, I know for a fact I did a very sloppy job with that video, and with that I do apologise. And in my Dear Clyde video, to be fair, I wasn't actually thinking, because I did forget that Clyde and Seth was making a Ichigo versus Naruto fight. And to be fair, I should have known why Clyde didn't respond to me. So again, I do apologise for that because I really wasn't thinking. And both in those videos, I was basically guessing which versions of Ichigo is the weakest or strongest, and which versions of Ichigo can beat which versions of Naruto. But, as we all know, Clyde and Seth are making an animation where Naruto and Ichigo will fight. And from what I can gather from Clyde's Twitch, whenever I asked the question of saying, oh, can Kurama beat Full Hollow Ichigo? And Clyde didn't really give me an answer. I think he said you'll have to wait and see. At the very least, that's what I think he said anyways. So, there is some indication that he is going to be using Kurama and White, or Full Hollow Ichigo. So, Seth and Clyde isn't going to give us any answers until that animation that they are making comes out. And I'm going to guess that they're going to do a Death Battle style sort of fight, where they will explain what's going to happen and what sort of arsenal they've got and transformations, etc, etc. And then we'll see the fight, and then they'll explain who can be who. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but that's what I'm assuming that they're going to do. But I could be wrong. Now, I want to get to the meat of this video. Now, as many of you know, I'm more of a Bleach fan than I am a Naruto fan, but that doesn't mean I hate Naruto. Now, I'm not going to explain what forms and transformations that Naruto has, because I believe a true Naruto fan should be able to tell us what forms of Naruto is the weakest to the most powerful. As you guys can see from this quickly put together chart I made, this is what I assume which is the weakest to the most powerful version of Naruto. Now, if there's any Naruto fans out there who thinks that I've missed out a few forms or missed out a few versions, please let me know in the comment sections below. And if I've put them in the wrong order, please let me know in the comment sections below as well. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to do what I did with my all versions of Naruto versus all versions of Ichigo, where I pair them up to weakest to most powerful and say which one can be who. Because again, I'm going to let Seth and Clyde do that because they know what they're talking about. They understand the power of both Ichigo and Naruto. So I won't be making any comparison between Naruto and Ichigo. So, I'm going to get to the bone as to why I made this video. And it's actually three things. Number one, I think when Naruto and Ichigo are about to fight, I think Ichigo's base form human body should be the starter. I mean, hey, have you seen Ichigo fight? For a human, he can kick ass. And even though I know for a fact he doesn't stand a chance against base form Naruto, I just think it would be awesome for Ichigo to show his stuff in his human base form. That's all I'm trying to say. Number two is, I would like to see Ichigo's full bring forms in this fight. And I'm not talking about his Shinigami full bring form that we see near the end of the full bring arc in the anime and in the manga. I'm talking about when Ichigo was being trained to bring out his full bring powers. And I'm talking about these forms. His first version, his second version, and then his complete version. I would like to see Clyde make a video about these forms. Like, how powerful are they? What can they do? What are their special abilities? And, most importantly, are they going to use these forms in their fight in Naruto vs Ichigo? And this comes to the third thing that I want to talk about, and it is this, the main point as to why I made this video. I made this. As you guys can see here, this is what I assume is the weakest to the most powerful versions of Ichigo. Just take a good long look at this. You have his human base form, which is probably the most weakest version of Ichigo, with or without his spiritual powers where you can see the dead, and, speak of the devil, is human full bring powers, which I assume is the next most powerful, because remember, this version of Ichigo has lost his Shinigami powers and his hollow powers. He's just a human with powers. He's not in his spiritual body, but it's probably the next best thing and the only thing he's got that's closest to being next to the spiritual world. Now, Clyde can correct me if he wants to. I am assuming that full bring Ichigo is weaker than his sealed sword form from the Agent of the Shinigami arc. At the very least, I think so anyways. In fact, I'm sure that it's much more weaker than his sealed sword form. Okay, I'm going to stop here just for a second, and I'm going to explain a few things before I continue. You guys have probably guessed there are forms of Ichigo that are in different areas, like for example, a Ronkai arc Ichigo to the Yukiura fight, as only is Shikai, Bonkai, and then his mask, but doesn't have his full hollow form. And the reason why I did that is because full hollow Ichigo is much more powerful than Arrancar downfall arc, Bankai Ichigo, and with his mask on, to full bring arc Ichigo when he gets his Shinigami powers back, both his new Shikai and his new Bankai, and then it's full hollow Ichigo, or full hollow white. This is what I assume how powerful white is. That is much more powerful than full bring Bankai Ichigo. And also, you guys have also probably noticed that there are versions and transformations of Ichigo that are in different places, like Dongai Ichigo is next to Blood War Arc Ichigo, and Arrancar Downfall Ichigo is next to Fullbring Shinigami Ichigo. Well, I thought to myself, instead of having Naruto and Ichigo go in chronicle order as they go through the series of when they fight against each other, because unlike Naruto, where he gets stronger and stronger as he goes along, I mean, yeah, Ichigo does have that, but Ichigo's power-ups are all over the place. He either gets a huge power boost, that's a form all on its own like full hollow white, and loses his most powerful form of his Shinigami powers to only get human-based powers like the Fullbrings. So I thought to myself, why don't we go from the most weakest versions of Naruto and Ichigo, not just from their forms and power-ups, but from their weakest to strongest from their arcs, with a few exceptions of course. Like for example, Ichigo's human-based form will be the weakest, and then you have White, which is a form all by itself, because Ichigo's human-based form is the most weakest version of Ichigo. I mean, come on, you guys have to admit that. And again, Ichigo's human Fullbring powers are probably the next strongest after his human-based form. So, you guys get it now? I just wanted to point that out there before I continued. So anyways, yes, you have Agent of the Shinigami arc, when Ichigo gets his Shinigami powers from Rukia. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually do like the sealed sword. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, his Shikai and his Bankai are freaking awesome. But his sealed sword is freaking awesome. I mean, just look at that thing. I mean, come on. It would have been cool if Ichigo just went all the way back to his sealed sword and only broke out his Shikai when he really, really needed it. But I'm going off track. And then we have Soul Society, the Rescue Arc, where Ichigo fights the likes of Ikaku all the way to Byakuya, where Ichigo fights in his Shikai, then his Bankai, and his Uncontrolled Mask power-up. And then after that, we have the Arrancar arc all the way to Ukiura's fight. And Ichigo in his Shikai form is much more powerful than when he was in the Soul Society, to his Bankai, to his now controlled Hollow Mask. And then, after his fight with Ukiura, there's the Arrancar downfall, where he's just in his Bankai and then his Control Mask. And I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say that Dongai Bankai Ichigo comes next after that. But like I said, I'm doing it from weakest all the way to strongest. And then it's full bring Shinigami Ichigo when he gets his Shinigami powers back, both his new Shikai and Bankai. And then it's full hollow Ichigo, or full hollow white. Full hollow white is basically kind of like Kurama, like it's Ichigo's inner hollow doing what the hell it pleases. And I've always said that full hollow Ichigo or full hollow white should face off against Kurama, the nine-tailed fox from Naruto, because these two are very, very similar. Because, you know, there's Madara versus Aizen, Kaguya versus Yhwach, Naruto versus Ichigo, and then there's Naruto and Ichigo's inner demons, the nine-tailed fox from Naruto, and Ichigo's inner hollow white. That, in my opinion, would be the most awesomest fight ever. And no help from either Ichigo or Naruto, it's just these two magnificent beasts fighting it out all by themselves. That would be an awesome fight to see. And then there's L versus Ichigo with a cool looking armor, because this form easily destroyed the Chains of Hell. And it took a few tries for full hollow Ichigo to almost destroy them all. And it only took Hell versus Ichigo with a cool armor one swipe to destroy the Chains of Hell, which I said to be impossible to break. And then there's Dongai Bankai Ichigo, and then it's his final Getsuga Tensho. And of course we have Blood War Arc Ichigo in his Shikai form when he got his sword reforged and regained the powers that he used to win against Aizen. So Ichigo's Blood War Arc Shikai form is on par with his final Getsuga Tensho form. At the very least I think so. Well, it was stated by Yhwach anyways. And then you've got his Bankai, which is a 10 times multiplier on top of his Shikai. So that's 10 final Getsuga Tenshos in his Bankai form. And then he has his Fused Hollow form, which I'm not really sure how powerful he is. I think he might be a 10 times multiplier, maybe? And that is in his Shikai form. So Fused Hollow form Shikai Ichigo is on par with his normal reforged Bankai. And then Ichigo goes Bankai in his Fused Hollow form, which again gives him a 10 times multiplier on top of that. This Ichigo in the corner, where it says Blood War Arc, is the most powerful version of Ichigo. At the very least, I think these are the most weakest to most powerful versions of Ichigo. And if anybody wants to correct me on something, please do. And if there are Naruto fans out there who wants to do something similar to Naruto of what I've done here with Ichigo, please do. put Naruto from weakest all the way to the strongest. Now, even though I did a rough chart for Naruto, this video was meant for Ichigo. And only because I'm an Ichigo fan doesn't mean I hate Naruto. In fact, I do like Naruto. I watch Naruto. But I choose Ichigo because he's the cooler out of Naruto and Ichigo. And the reason why I made this video was because even though Clyde and Seth are making the video, with the help of animators, I know they're going to have a sort of like Death Bell style fight with Ichigo and Naruto, from what Naruto and Ichigo are as to the fight and who'd win in the end. That's what I think anyways. And even though it's their video and they can do whatever the hell they want with it, as a fan of Clyde and Seth, and as a fan of Bleach and Naruto, I wanted to give my own opinions and 2 cents and ideas to both Seth and Clyde for the video of Naruto versus Ichigo. These are just ideas of what they could use for their fight. But it's their video, they can do whatever the hell they want. But this video was just giving Clyde some ideas. That's all I was trying to do. To be honest, I always had this picture in my head when it came to Clyde and Seth's video in Naruto vs Ichigo. You know, like in one of those video games where the announcer announces the fighters' names and the screen shows the names of the character? I can kind of see a picture of when Naruto and Ichigo comes out and the narrator says,
Ichigo Kurosaki, human base form, versus Naruto Uzumaki, part 1 base form. Get ready. Fight.
And when one of them loses, the narrator or the announcer will say something along the lines of,
Ichigo Kurosaki, Fullbring, version 1, has entered the ring to face off against base form Naruto.
And this goes on and on and on with the narrator, which version is who, from what arc, from weakest all the way to the most powerful versions of Naruto and Ichigo. Well, that's my version anyways. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say in this video, to give my own personal opinion and suggestions for Clyde and Seth as a fan, because I do love Naruto and Ichigo. And like I said, they don't have to take any ideas from this video. These are just my ideas as a fan to both Clyde and Seth. That's all I was trying to do. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Which versions of Naruto and Ichigo are you looking forward to seeing fight? My favourite version of Ichigo is Soul Society Ichigo. And the fight I would really like to see is Kurama versus White, the 2 demons that's inside both Naruto and Ichigo. But I think Pain Arc Naruto versus Soul Society Arc Ichigo is a perfect matchup. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? What would you add, or what would you like to see in Seth and Clyde's video, Naruto versus Ichigo? Please let me know in the comment sections below. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching. And if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put the bell on, share this video, and leave a comment in the comment sections below. And as for my social medias, I'm literally freaking everywhere! I'm on most video platforms, social medias, forums, and support sites. It's best to pause the video and see where I am. Literally all of this is down in the description box below. So if you want to go and check those out, please do. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.